predict that the time capsule will reveal a moldy sandwich from 1882 and that lost pair of gloves that my student has been looking for all year long.
What do you think is in the time capsule? I think there's going to be a Game Boys. That is what they used to use for games, like Donkey Kong, which was big back then, and Pac-Man, which has been big since, well, our parents were kids. So what do you think is in the time capsule?
Maybe a picture of the 2001 kids with their teachers. I don't know, some old documents from the office or something.
What is your opinion of what's in the time capsule?
I think maybe like art from when it was 2001.
What do you think is in the time capsule?
I think there's going to be a newspaper from like the breaking news or like big news of 2001 or whatever.
I think it might be stuff from art because it's in the art room.
Well, I'd assume maybe there's some money. Maybe if they had some different money back then, or money that went out of commission. I know there's a silver dollar that they don't make very often anymore. They also might have some pencils. Pencils might be made differently. Erasers might be made differently. Just school things in general might be made differently. And there might be like maybe even some food that they may like food that won't go bad, like dehydrated.
You're on the air, Mr. Greiner.
So, what I think is in the time capsule. I predict there is a newspaper from 2001. I bet there is a computer disk of some type of technology, and I bet there is nothing related to Chipotle.
I think that there might be some goals that they maybe wanted to do by now, or maybe some ideas that they thought they could do in the future because they might have tools now.
What do you think is in the time capsule?
I think there are going to be like school supplies, school materials that people have previously used. So it's going to be like kind of bringing it back to life.
So what do you think is in the time capsule?
There's probably going to be a lot of school supplies and leftover materials in their old desks. And maybe other like pictures of classrooms, what they used to look like.
What is your opinion that understood what's in the time capsule?
Well, I was thinking of like kind of like a Dr. Seuss book, or maybe one of those other books that they like to read to students in school. Since this is a school.
What would you say is in the time capsule?
Some photos, a book, maybe? I don't know for sure.
I think there's going to be an old picture of what their technology was when, like 10 years ago.
I predict there'll be Thomas Jefferson shoes in the time capsule, a bunch of grapes, a newspaper, maybe a disc or a CD with something on it, and a Big Mac from McDonald's.
I think there's probably a yearbook so they can show us what clothes people had back then and like what they look like.
I think there might be a yearbook from 2001 and maybe some money.
I think maybe some stamps or some papers or something that may be like, I think this will happen in the future.
Well, I think it was like something that they really like to do in that time. So like maybe like Girl Scout cookies, because they sold Girl Scout cookies then, or something like that.
For the time capsule at TJ, it's going to be very exciting to open it up. I've walked by it for years and years at TJ, and I think there's going to be something about technology in there. I think there's going to be something related to literature, a book of some sort, maybe popular culture, movie, something maybe about sports, and lastly, just something that's sort of a fad, and I don't remember what that would have been in 2001, but it's going to be fun to see. Thanks.
I'm thinking that there's old pictures of classes and teachers that worked back in 2001. If they're not here right now, like just to remember them. I'm going to be viewing people what they think is in the time capsule.
All right. So, you know how old I was back then? I was in 4th and 5th grade in 2001. Isn't that crazy? I was your age. So I think what might be in there is, I'm thinking newspaper articles, maybe newsletters from TJ. TJ might have put their own newsletters in there. And maybe a TJ shirt from 2001. And I can't really think of anything else that might be in there, because they probably wouldn't put food in there.
I think there'll be like stuff like pencils from them. They might have thought like some of the stuff that we have now. They might have thought that we had super ultra big technology, and they probably have a lot of the things that we have now.
I think that there's going to be books. I predict in the time capsule there will be an American flag and possibly maybe a baby. Were those popular in 2001? Maybe? Okay.
I think that there's going to be something that represents the TJ mascot.
What do you think is in the time capsule?
I think that there might be a lot of like addition and subtraction math sheets or something, because like they would probably have done math class and they might have like put math sheets in it because they do a lot of math.
What do you think is in the time capsule in the art hallway?
I think there's probably clothing in there. Yeah. Maybe like school supplies from 2001.
So exciting to open the time capsule. I'm thinking that since the iPod first came out in 2001, maybe there will be an iPod in the time capsule.
I think there's old school supplies.
In the time capsule.
I think that there might be school supplies and like maybe some people's research presentations, like for Colonial Day and stuff. And there might also be some stuff like what they learned, like in 2001. Like maybe they learned different things than we do today.
What is in the time capsule?
I think that's in the time capsule might be like old supplies that worked like a long time. Maybe a computer, maybe like clothes from the back time, old days.
There might be some pictures of like cars or something, or maybe some phones that they had when in 2001.
I think is in the time capsule in the art hallway.
I think maybe some pencils, maybe newspapers to see what was going on at that time, and some of the worksheets they did, so we can know what they learned.
What do you think is in the time capsule?
I think because somebody told me a couple years ago, somebody already, a class opened it and they took it out and put something new in. I think it's something from a teacher, like an apple or, no, not apple, super awesome. Like something from school, from pencils or paper or something like that.
What do you think is in the time capsule?
I think maybe like coins and maybe like paper.
I think the time capsule will be full of, like, stories, and, like, stories about, like, the past, and, like, stories about, like, the future, and, like, stories about, like, the past, 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 and, like, stories about if I was to take a guess, I would say there's probably some electronics that they used back then. Maybe a textbook or two. Maybe some pictures. Those are my guesses.
Okay, in the year, or the time capsule, I predict that there'll be quite a few interesting things. The Declaration of Independence, probably a newspaper. It's your turn.
My marriage license.
It's not in there, I've looked.
And I don't know.
I'll bet some candy bars. There's got to be a tiger. A TJ tiger's got to be in there.
TJ tiger.
Okay, you're going to want to watch him when he comes out.
Maybe some old photographs of this school, because it probably should have held back to 2001.